Imagine not being able to express yourself in a society that claims it is inclusive. My family and I migrated from Nigeria, a country in Africa, in 2020 because of our quest for greener pastures. My father is a true visionary because he knows that my family and I are going to get a better education due to Canada's high standards. I regarded my journey to Canada as the Canadian dream. I got delighted whenever I read about Canada's good governmental policies, people, and food. As a person that loves education, I was looking forward towards my time in the Canadian high school and to get assimilated into the culture like how it's done in the movies. So when I started high school, I noticed a lot of people started to ask me about my dialect. I felt so uncomfortable because this is very new to me. Fast forward to my grade 9 English class, which was during the COVID, my teacher asked me to do a presentation in front of the entire classroom. And when I started my presentation, I noticed that my teacher was secretly smiling at me throughout my entire Zoom meeting. And when I finished my presentation, she came to me and asked me about where my accent is from. And I told her that I am from Nigeria. This issue has continued to affect me throughout high school. And due to this, I decided to just stop talking unnecessarily everywhere I go. Due to this, I decided to just stop participating during class discussions because I was afraid of judgment. I felt that I would be treated differently because I spoke a different accent. So based on my story, having a different accent can lead to discrimination. So what is an accent? An accent is a distinguished way of speaking and pronouncing languages that is typical to a group of people. In today's world, the English language is seen as a very dominant language that is used in the field of business, science, and even in politics. People who speak the English language very dominantly is bound to speak differently from someone who speaks 2 or more different languages. So based on my personal experiences, I decided to just find out who also is in the same situation as me. I decided to do some research, and I used a survey because it allows my participants to express their views in their own terms. I used a convenient sampling to recruit a group of Black identifying students who are from African background. I collected their data and analyzed it. From my research, 85% of Black students stated that they feel very proud of their accent. This is mostly true because Black students have been encouraged to love themselves and be proud of their culture and their identity. I am a Nigerian and I feel very proud of my culture and my identity. Many of my participants actually made mention that the Black culture consists of a community that celebrates with them and they act together without the feeling of judgment. Secondly, 85% of people stated that they've been made to feel differently because of their accent. So, despite the fact that 85% of Black students feel proud of their accent, the same number of people have been made to feel different because of their accent. I remember my first few months in Canada, I was made to feel like I didn't belong. I was the only Black student in my classroom, and not only that, I spoke a far different accent from my peers. Studies have shown that it can take just 30 milliseconds of a speech to identify a person that is speaking a different accent. And this is enough time to make assumptions about a person, whether it is positive or negative. Thirdly, 69% of people stated that they've been made to feel ashamed of their accent. This is a very sad fact because Black students have been made to feel ashamed of their accents in different circumstances. One of my participants actually made mention that while he just moved to Canada in his 8th grade class, his teacher asked him to introduce himself to the classroom, and when he finished his introduction, the entire classroom made fun of his Ugandan accent for the rest of the entire school year. An accent is a form of expression. It is your identity. There is no probable cause for this to be a medium of discrimination, but yet it is. 69% of black students have been made to change their accent. I'm guilty of this because I have tried to change my accent in order to fit in the Western environment. And my other participants actually felt the same thing. One of my participants actually made mention that she feels she has to change her accent in order to fit in the Western environment because she wants to have friends and engage in various social situations. And my other participants actually made mention that since she has the French accent and the African accent, the French accent is seen as more cuter and more appreciated than her other African accents. She used the word other to describe her African accent. So what are some consequences of accent discrimination? What are the consequences of accent discrimination on these speakers? Firstly, this can lead to low self-esteem. Just imagine the plight of students I mentioned earlier. Imagine their state of self-confidence just because some people think they have a better accent than they do. I believe that no other accent is better than another, but instead, they're just ways of us sharing our distinguished identities to just show that we're in a world of diversity. Secondly, accent discrimination can lead to loss of culture and identity. Just like when people from Africa decide to change their accent, they lose themselves. An accent is a form of expression. It allows people to communicate what they like and reflect their self-identities. If black students do not feel safe enough to express themselves and be proud of their culture and identity, they will find it hard to fit in the Western environment that says it is inclusive. So here is the fun part. I have 3 simple solutions that we can use to put an end to accent discrimination. These are the 3 R's that I have come up with that we can use in our day-to-day lives. The first R is respect. Treat other people the way that you want to be treated. It is important that we treat other people with respect and courtesy because this could go a very long way. I began to perceive the world as a very scary and an unperceiving place because of my teacher's discrimination towards me. So once we place our feet in other people's shoes, we are going to act better. Secondly, regard. A lot of people think regard is the same thing as respect, but they're 2 different things. Regard starts from within, and regard starts from you. It is important that we start to see other people's accents as unique and not different. I have a simple activity I want us to try in our different houses. So once you get to your mirror, I want you to say to yourself that I am beautiful just the way I am, because you are beautiful just the way you are. Back to my last point. Refuse. It is time to put an end to accent discrimination. It is time to say no to the stereotype that is placed on people whose accent is from countries such as the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. It is our responsibility to make sure that every person is treated equally. We should all treat everyone equally regardless of how we speak, talk, and act. Africa has over 3,000 different languages, and in those languages we speak different accents. It is outrageous to try to confine people who speak the African language to speak the English language fluently. It is this diversity that makes us who we are. It makes us special. I have an assignment for everyone here today. I'm sure there's an allergic reaction to an assignment. I know. But I want you guys to go in your day-to-day lives normally, and when you see someone with a different accent, I want you guys to approach the person in a nice way and just say, hey, I love your accent. Because by this, we're not only spreading positivity, but we're making the world and the society a better place to thrive and grow. Because together we stand, divided we will fall. Thank you for listening.